Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Mott, and on today's episode, we have 3 out of the 4 members of Born Anew. We have Tyler Saczawa, Kyle Pinder, and Tyler Mateychick. Today, we talk about their journeys from being in local bands to how Born Anew formed, and we talk about how it was releasing their first full length and what they have coming up and what they've been doing through the pandemic. Before we get in that conversation, there's a few news topics. Doom Patrol Season 2 is coming to DC Universe and HBO Max on June 25th. Umbrella Academy Season 2 drops on Netflix on July 31st. And New Mutants got a new release date for August 28th. And I really hope this one sticks. I've been looking forward to see this movie for a while, especially since they announced it was still coming out after the Disney-Fox merger. And Ruby Rose has exited the role of Batwoman, and the CW will be recasting her for Season 2. That's it for the news. Let's get in this conversation with Born Anew.
What's up, guys?
Yo. Good. What up? How we doing?
Good, man. Just went on a bike ride. How are you guys?
Just chilling. It's the first time I've seen the guys in the band in like weeks, so it's actually like dope to be chilling.
Damn, that's nice though.
Yeah, definitely. You just got back from a bike ride?
Yeah. Sam and I went. She got a new bike today, so we went on like a 4-mile bike ride. A little short guy. It was cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
I want a bike, dude.
Well, we have like 1 million of them, so if you come over, you can ride one of them.
Dude, I'll take a bike.
Okay, that's fine. How has this whole virus affected you guys? I guess as a band and personally.
I mean, as a band, just like every other band, it sucks to not be touring and playing shows. Thankfully, we didn't release any music, right before this happened. Just like a couple other bands, like our friends have released albums, and, now they can't tour off of that and promote that. And it's just like a lot of bands had to cancel through tours as well. So like we were kind of lucky on our end, but, other than that, like personally, it's just been like tough not seeing friends, being able to go out. I want to go out to eat or something, just do like normal life stuff.
Yeah.
And, you can't. So who knows when things will go back to normal. And it sucks also knowing that shows will probably be like one of the last things to come back.
Yeah, that's definitely the hardest thing with shows. I was talking to Jonathan King about it too, is even when stuff starts opening back up, obviously businesses can open up immediately, but as far as shows, they're planned so far in advance that once things finally start to get open, there's still the planning stage until we get actual shows. Obviously, local shows will probably be plentiful as soon as shit starts opening up because those are easy to kind of put together fast, but as far as touring, it's kind of hard. I know some of the summer stuff or fall stuff that hasn't been announced or rescheduled hasn't canceled yet. Some has, some hasn't. So I think it's like a waiting game to see if they can actually happen or not.
Yeah, definitely glad that I'm not booking shows or doing any of that right now, because I'd be pulling my hair out with like dealing with all the postponed dates and like whether or not, to cancel or not. And like, I feel like you can't get any concrete answers from anyone you reach out to right now, even.
No, it's a very, very weird predicament.
3 or 4 months into this thing. So
yeah,
it's definitely going to be difficult. Yeah.
It's definitely hard. I've just kind of been chilling, and any support tours that I've had, if they got moved, I'm just waiting to see if they still happen. And as far as anything new, I'm just waiting to see until things are legit going to be happening. The reports change every fucking day, especially on the show side.
Definitely. Other than that, I'm still lucky enough to like keep my job through this time. So I've just been like saving money, not touring. It's actually crazy how much money you save when you're not touring. So it's a good feeling that I haven't had in a while. So it's definitely nice. I know Chip's still working, right?
Yeah, Olive Garden's still popping.
Slinging the pasta.
Slinging the pasta and the breadsticks, man, every day.
Yo, those breadsticks are vegan too, which is dope.
That's crazy, actually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You like the Olive Garden breadsticks?
Yeah, I don't eat pasta. I know it's weird. It's like a texture thing for me, but
what?
Yeah, I can't. It's since a kid. It's like I was scarred when I was a kid, and I have not gotten over it. I don't know. I just hated it ever since I was a kid, but their breadsticks are tight. I do like their breadsticks.
Yeah, if you don't like pasta, there's really no point to even go.
Dude, you're missing out on some great dishes, man.
Baked easy.
The BZ.
BZ.
But it has to be vegan baked ziti.
I mean, pasta is pretty easy to make vegan. It's usually just the sauce.
Yeah.
Very true.
Because Sam eats a lot of pasta, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm
you're
pretty sure,
you're still working
back
at
to
Wawa too, right?
Yeah.
Yep, working and delivering pizza.
Oh, delivering
Delicious.
pizza.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
On the forefront of the battle line.
Yep. Walk up to every door with a mask on. Either
Good.
get tipped 10 cents or, maybe a couple bucks.
Ooh, that's rough.
But save a lot of money, especially since I can't go and do anything.
True.
Yeah, I think Ryan is the only one that's out of work right now.
Yeah, so he just plays Warzone all day.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Warzone, Fortnite, and FIFA
Mm-hmm.
in that order.
But yeah, overall, this shit's getting very monotonous. I just want to go back out, play shows, and it feels like it's been so long since I've done anything, I'm just tired of
Yeah.
it.
I know. It's weird, but hopefully stuff starts sort of getting back to normal soon, hopefully. And hopefully
Yeah, definitely.
the tour we have planned happens in the fall. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Well,
Crossing my
yeah.
fingers. Because, I mean, what are the chances of, a postponed tour getting postponed? At that point, who knows if it'll get canceled? It's just in the air, so I'm just, crossing my fingers on that one.
The only thing with that is that every tour that's been happening since summer or fall is also getting pushed back too. So it might either just get pushed back further or not happen. It's a very big toss up because there's almost no other tours that could possibly happen that would make that tour not happen, if that makes sense. Because everything, there's no new things popping up. It's all just things shifting.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very, very crazy. Do you guys remember if it was a show or a certain band you listened to that got you guys into live music?
And I think it was 2010 at Starland Ballroom. It was a day to remember. And they did a one-off. And they just randomly played Starland with Stray from the Path and Suckle, I think is the band. And that,
Nice.
I don't know what, but that show was immaculate. And that's what did it for me.
That's awesome.
The OG A Day to Remember too.
Oh,
So
dude.
it was
Did I ever tell you about the first time I saw a Day to Remember?
No.
was it was Tom Denny in the band?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Damn.
I saw them multiple times with Tom Denny in the band, I think. At least twice. Maybe 3 times. But it was either when the first record came out or before the first record came out, and they opened up for Bless the Fallen Alisana, and I saw them in a record store.
Holy shit.
Yeah. No one knew who the fuck they were. And then months later, everyone knew who they were, pretty much.
We literally watched videos of them last year from 2006, or last night from 2006, and we were just wow.
I think that's when I saw them. It was 2006. And then I saw them again in 2007. I'm pretty sure.
They literally all look like babies.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird.
Jeremy is saying stick around for all the other bands playing because they weren't even declining.
Yeah, no, so I mean they opened the tour I saw.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
They
nuts.
really were. But I'd say for me, some huge inspirations were Phil Collins,
Whoa.
actually, and Switchfoot. Because when I was super young and I was playing drums, Phil Collins was just I always wanted to play his shit, And
Yeah.
I would see live concerts that would be broadcasted on TV and stuff, and I'd record it and watch it over and over again, and just enjoy the live performance of it. And then Switchfoot was the first band that I actually started going and seeing every time they would announce a tour and come around our area. I would follow them for 3 days in the region and just go to every show and go backstage. I was a little fan, a little kid, and I would just go up to them and I would just ask them so many questions, and I was wow, I really want to do this. And
Wow.
every time I saw them live, I was just I need to do this. I need to get my own band and start touring. And this was when I was way younger though, and I never thought it'd be even really possible.
Wow.
was before the local stage. So I was just like dreaming big.
Damn,
you know?
that's cool as fuck. I loved Switchfoot.
Yeah, that band was it for me.
I saw them like a bunch of years ago, and they were dope live too. They were really good.
They put on a really good show.
What about you?
I mean, I don't really have a specific show, I guess. But like, I mean, I guess the first band and even the genre I listened to was like Atreyu.
Ooh, okay.
I listened to like a shit ton of Atreyu, and then like Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
and
that's a good record.
I transitioned into all like Warped Tour, and then like I just went to so many Warped Tours, like Woe Is Me, Attack Attack, like OG of Mice and Men. Like that's like when I saw all that, I was like, I want to do that.
Oh, nice.
Like I want to be that. And then like I don't know, and then it just kind of worked out to be like that. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys are the next Attack Attack.
Dude, honestly, if I could play Smokeahontas, I'd be down.
Yo, AC 130. Pretty much that whole record.
Pinder's story is a little different than like anyone else's, I feel like, just because like he didn't have that one live show that made him want to play. Like his first live show ever playing was on tour with us. Like he had been in no other bands. You know, this was his first band. So like I think he always wanted to do it. Like when he saw those bands, like Woe Is Me, Attack Attack.
Yeah,
but like it wasn't until like he played the first show and was like, holy shit, like this is what it's all about, you know? Like his first show was like in Massachusetts with Degrader or something like that.
Yep.
On like our second DIY tour, you know?
Wow. That's fucking wild.
Do it for the long haul.
So what was your guys' first bands though, since Pin just kind of jumped into touring? That's nuts. I don't know if I've heard that very often.
I've never played a full show. Like that was my first show.
That's nuts.
And then my second show ever was the basement show that Sax booked in Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like his tryout.
Damn.
After that tour that I joined. But first bands, I actually grew up playing in in the church. My dad would like lead the music there, so I would drum and like play with like my friends there basically. So from there we started like from praise music to like wanting to be like a Christian rock band, you know, like Switchfoot or Skillet or like one of those bands, you know. That's what I was listening to back then. And so the first band name was just Fire, and it standard for Faith and Redemption Everlasting. And it was like a real Christian rock band. Like I was probably 13, maybe a little older, and it was just like straight like hard rock singing, like no metal. I was just doing double kicks over everything though, because I was like the one kid that wanted to be in a heavy band. But those were the kids I knew at the time, like near me, that were trying to play, you know, in bands. Like I wasn't even in the local scene. I'd never been to like a real local metal show,
right?
Until like years later. And then like I started my own metal band with some of those kids in the first band. It was called As My Kingdom Falls. And
what a metalcore name.
My band, yeah, we were like real metalcore. Like that band's inspiration was like August Turns Red and Texas in July, like that stuff.
So real Christian metalcore.
Yeah, it like started like just slowly appearing heavier. But my band show with Born Anew, and I don't know, like I knew that the guys in my band at the time were just not about, you know, wanting to do it for their career or livelihood. You know, they were just kind of doing it for fun.
Yeah.
So it was really like trying to find some people that were like really down. And I saw Born Anew play the show that we played, and I don't know, something just like hit me when I was like watching their set. I was like, there's some potential here. Like I actually didn't even really love Born Anew when I saw them. It was just something about it was just like, okay, like this is interesting. So I hit up Chip that night and I was just like, yo, if you ever need a drummer, like let me know. And he was like, actually we do. And there's some new music that we've been trying to like work out. And like the next day I literally learned one of the songs, sent it back, and like the rest was like history. And then I joined Born Anew, stopped all my other bands. So even Born Anew is still, there's still like, it's a very early, like, young band for me, you know, like, I've only been in
Right.
3 bands. It's not like I've been in band to band to band. But yeah, like, my first band were all Christian metalcore and Christian rock. Yes.
What an evolution.
But this is what I've always wanted to do. This is what this music, this style of and then Chip, I don't, first bands.
Born Anew is my first band. So I started it in 2013 with a couple of dudes and started playing some shows, and then went through like some small member changes. And then when I came across that show at Sax, like you said, he hit me up from a DM on Facebook and was like, "You ever need a drum?" You know, and literally like we were looking to move on and put out the new music and like start playing that stuff live that we weren't able to and like we were struggling with. And then the video is actually still on YouTube. The Sax's tryout video. He put it online. It's still, if you look up Born Anew, No Faith, No Life, it's a song that we've never played live. And if you look, literally there's a video of like 2013 Sax playing to it. And then you see the playthrough to the song with me and our old guitarist Tom up in like the top right corner. And then, yeah, so then we just added Sax, and then we didn't have a bassist until Pinder. Well, Toast played bass before he played vocals.
So it was
guitar, actually on everything besides play drums.
So when did Toast join? And well, so what year did Sax join for one, and then when did Toast join?
Sax joined in 2015.
Yeah, I joined in either late 2014 or 2015, and we started playing shows with like our old vocalist Alex, and that we were 4-piecing it. You know, no bass, and then we decided that we really needed to get a bassist. And when we played, I think it was the first time we played Starland, Ryan came to the show early, and he was letting us use some of his gear. And I was just like, yo, Ryan should just join and just play bass for us. And we asked him, and he was down. So he started doing that with us, and we were like a 5-piece in it. And that's when we started to kind of pick up more locally and like start taking on shows for more pre-sale and like really trying to push for some bands that, you know, we look up to and play with them, all that early stage stuff. But then we hit a really stale point, and Ryan left, and we didn't announce it or anything, but he just thought that his other band was doing more, and it wasn't really worth it financially to stay in 2 bands if one was just going to be kind of sitting around. But we ended up picking it back up, and we got Ryan back on board. But when he joined back, he was playing guitar because our other guitarist had left. It left us 4-piecing again. I think that was in 2016. We were 4-piecing, and, you know, it left us with just me, Chip, Ryan, and then our vocalist. We did our first 2 tours, DIY tours with our old vocalist, Alex, and it just was not, like, we were pretty much at the end of like what we could handle with him.
Yeah.
So we parted ways with him, and we went through like this whole phase of different
fill-ins, right?
Yeah. Like we had Eduardo Ruiz from Refinement, and like the photographer.
Oh, I didn't even know he ever filled in for you guys.
And we had, yeah, he did a show. We had Moke fill in for one show.
Oh my god.
And then we had Steve Mannix, who was like a local goer. Yeah, and we heard Varial's Get Up, and I was just like, yo, his vocals are pretty good. Let's see what he got. And like we worked with him, and he just consistently got better, you know, throughout the time with us. So it worked for the time, but after that, it was like 2017, we really wanted to pick up touring. And that's when like the Arkham Agency stuff kind of went down with you. And I joined with you, and then through you.
Yep.
And all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of where, you know, us 4 came from, and where Ryan kind of went through like the whole band up to like where he got to be a vocalist for us, because he had done vocals for his other band. So
Yeah, so you hit me up because you were doing your own booking agency thing for a little bit, and then you hit me up, and we joined together when I started Arkham, and then you started working there, booking a few bands, and then eventually you hit me up and were like, "Hey, would you ever be interested in booking Born Anew?" And I was like, "I'd really like to see you guys live to kind of decide." And then I saw you guys played Syracuse with Sirens and Sailors, and then after that we started working together, and then I brought Joel into the picture as well because that's when me and him first met too, and we brought him into the management team, and it's been the team ever since.
Yeah, 2017 was the transition year. We built the team, and we just been grinding out since. You and me like announced, our booking agencies at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And it was just literally going back and forth. Like I remember trying to go off of your feed, like whenever you announced a tour, I'd be like, okay, I need to announce a tour. So like I was kind of just like trying to keep up, and it got to the point where I was like, yo, I should just do what I'm doing through this other company. So that's when I hit you up. But I first hit you up to take meth shows in New Jersey.
Oh yeah. Holy shit.
As like a quote unquote promote, like I was just trying to throw shows on.
Yep. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And that was 2016, I think.
What made the change to bring Toast onto vocals? Was it just because you guys wanted to tour and the fill-in wasn't working? Like, how did it come up that he would be the singer?
Honestly,
just because he was singing in the other band, so you knew he could do it?
That was kind of like, it was that, and then mixed with the whole, like, kind of like we were like, we don't really have like any other choice. And it kind of worked out just because, like, we had me playing guitar, and then every position was filled, and Toast's vocals are good, and Toast is I think an incredible frontman. So the experience he had with Premonitions, it kind of was just like fit perfectly, and he was so down to just drop off guitar and start doing vocals. He misses guitar a lot though.
Does he help write it all guitar wise?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he brings riffs to the table.
He literally wrote pretty much the whole Backbreaker song.
Oh wow, that's tight.
Toast got riffs, bro.
Hell yeah, I'm a big fan of riffs, to be honest.
It's crazy because in Premonitions, his other band, he started as a guitarist and then moved to vocals. And for us, he started as bass to guitar to vocals. So I think vocals is just him, Like he's just got to stick to it. He loves the attention. He loves being a frontman. It's just. He just is the part that we needed. He loves the attention. He likes being like that guy. Like everyone comes up and he just knows how to do it. If you're like really shy or timid or don't want to go, like you're not like outgoing, it's hard to be that part. It's just part of like your overall image. He's very friendly.
And it's been awesome to see him. Well, actually all of you guys as a band progressively grow and get better. Like stage presence wise, you know what I mean? From when I first saw you at that Sirens and Sailors show compared to now, it's like night and day. Not that saying that was bad. Obviously, I signed you guys off that, but it's cool to see bands evolve over the years. It makes me proud, proud dad.
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember that show. That was the one thing you said. It was just like the live performance needs to hit a little harder, but it's everything else is there.
Yeah, I asked you after you gave me like 4 Ghost Ship shirts at your car, bro.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to do that. Oh, Sats, I met you in person before that. You were on tour with, who the fuck was it? It was some show that played Syracuse, and I gave you a Ghost Ship shirt there. I gave you the orange one. It was at the Westcott Community Center.
Appreciator and Repressed in April.
Yes. So I met you before that. Wow.
But that's still 2017.
Yeah. And I know they were very close together.
Yeah, 2017.
It feels so much longer in 2017.
I know.
That's crazy.
Like, just like looking back on all the things that we've, done, like all the memories we have.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like there's no way that fits in 3 years.
No, because I was thinking about the number of states I've seen you guys play in, and it has to be more states than any band I think I've ever seen play because it was Texas, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey. I don't think there's any more, but still, it's a lot.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any other. I've seen bands more than you guys, but not in different states. Unless you count like Desolated, who I've seen in fucking like, 30 European countries, cities, not countries. It was a few countries, but that doesn't really count. I was on tour. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
Speaking of evolution, being in a band, so how does it feel going from, you were booking all the tours for the band, being very DIY. I'm sure some of the venue you guys played were not the greatest. Going from that to now, where you guys have just came off to, very solid national supporting tours, playing legit venues, playing to a couple hundred kids a night. Explain how that feels now, looking back at all of that. Like, even though you guys haven't been in a ton of bands or anything, but I mean, you guys have been doing the thing for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just, like I was saying before, like when I was really young and I was looking, seeing those Phil Collins videos and Switchfoot videos and all that stuff, I knew what I wanted. And it was exactly what I'm doing now, but I didn't know how to get there, and I didn't think it was even possible. So even when we were playing shows, selling tickets for our favorite bands, to open up for them, I still felt like there was like progress being made. So it's been every step of the way I've been looking back and just seeing the progress and just having no words to describe it. Like, it's just crazy to look back at, like we bring a photographer on every tour so that we can document everything that we do. And the best thing, I think we've always agreed to, just, if there's always one person other than the band with us, it's always going to be a photographer, because we look back at those pictures and like remember actually being there. It's after 30 days touring, you look back at the venues that you've played and you're like, holy shit, I was really like there.
Right.
And this time frame, I can't believe like that time has gone by so fast. But like, I think just where we are now, playing, like being able to walk into a venue and not worry about, really, really bad sound or like really, really shitty stage setups. Like, for the most part, everything is like a legitimate venue. And back then it was just like I didn't care much about it.
Right.
As we progressed and like we started getting into that DIY tour phase, we wanted to like put on a good show to the point where like our sound was what we thought was a good sound, and when we couldn't accomplish that because of the venue setups or playing a basement show, or a coffee shop, like you name it, like anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's hard to achieve that. So now being able to actually translate what we want through the front of house of these venues and like, just overall having more bodies in the room, just everything is just a better vibe now. And it's crazy to look back at the progress. I don't think we would have been ready to play some of these venues if we didn't go through that stage though, of playing those shows, of like being shot and shit. Because even nowadays it's like a tour could get announced and you could have whatever expectation you set for it, and then you go on it, and if it doesn't meet your expectations, you're still bummed. It's not like just because you get these big tours and you're playing these sick venues that it's going to be sick. So I think playing those venues, where we did have expectations when we were young, and then seeing how, okay, this isn't always how it's going to be, ups and downs, more downs than ups, for the most part. And it's just like, it just like set us up to go into those venues and just be thankful to be playing there,
Yeah, and that's such a great mindset to have. And you guys have been, I mean, obviously I have an inside look at it because I've been there most of the steps along the way, but you guys have always been down to just tour and do whatever. And a lot of bands are starting who maybe start working with me or just like ask me for advice. They're like, what do I do to get to where they are, or play these fests or anything like that? And I'm like, you got to grind it out. Like you got to earn this shit. You're not just going to show up one. I mean, sometimes it does happen. There are exceptions to the rule, but 9 times out of 10, you got to put in the work before you get to that places. And just like you said, everything that like may have sucked or been not ideal helped you learn to get to when you start playing the real venues or start playing these fests or start touring with bands who have real touring experience? It gives you that insight to be like, oh, this is what I need to do.
Yeah, like seeing every step progress how it has just gives us like more hope and more motivation, because like it really is possible to go from like one to another. I remember hitting you up in 2017, trying to fill our tour schedule for the year, asking about like any fests we could get on, and it was just not the year. I remember like the response was clear as day. You were just like, I don't think that this is the year. I think you guys build, we attack fest, in a couple of years. And like, that's exactly what we did. And now to look back at that, it's like, oh shit, we went from that wanting to get on fests to getting on a couple great fests that like we've wanted to play or have attended as kids, younger kids. So it's just crazy to look back at all the memories. The progress is very, it's there. Like you see it, it's not something that you have to really dig deep to find.
No, not at all.
You get to see your hard work pay off for sure.
Hell yeah. So I know you guys are working on new music. You kind of have been even before this whole thing started. I want to know about your experience for making Eternal Isolation and getting signed to Stay Sick and putting out your first full length, like how that was for you guys.
It's like honestly crazy that we all like put together a full length. Like, sitting down and writing an album is like a pretty insane experience, and writing an album before. So like the thing that's so cool about it is like we wrote an album and did it all ourselves, and then found a producer we wanted to work with, found Cody. Like it all linked up so perfectly, and like Cody reached out to us to work with us, and we had the album in the process of being written, and all the puzzle pieces kind of fit in. And then the fact that we wrote an album, had it tracked and mixed and mastered the way we wanted it, and the fact that Stay Safe wanted the album, like they gained the interest from that, and it kind of just took over from there. And it was like such a humbling feeling, like having your music be wanted, you know what I mean? And after writing an album, which isn't an easy process, and it was pretty crazy, we did butt heads on things, and we learned from that, and then we learned from a lot of those errors that were in the process. So now that we're in the new writing process, and we have been for a while, it's smoother, it's a lot easier, there's less error, and there's a less room for error, because we really took the time to study and learn from those mistakes on the last record, which we always go back and forth and listen to like Eternal Isolation, and we pick out things that we think we should improve on, and parts and pieces and stuff. And plus there's a handful of songs that didn't make the album that we're not sure are gonna ever like make another release, but we've referenced the album a lot and want to advance Eternal Isolation and make like the next release like the next step up, like and it's just sick being in the next process. Like it's honestly sick. Like writing music with everybody is just like the best part of all of it, besides playing shows.
Yeah, and obviously too, you guys have been playing those songs live for a good time now. Now what hits live with crowds and what people are starting to sing along to and everything. So obviously that helps going into writing new music too. You're like, oh, they like this stuff, I can take it and make it better for the next stuff.
Yeah, that's like the craziest thing was like, having the album come out, even on tour, playing these songs before people really knew the songs. And then once it fully cycled around and people like knew the album and stuff, like learning from the parts that we were like, we're not big on that. And then live, everyone else was big on it. It like changes your perspective of what you write and how you can write things. And it just kind of opens up so many different windows and doors to like the things that you can write and play with. And that's literally what we're doing. Like we're trying to make everything like the best Born Anew that you're going to hear. And that's like what we're going to do with every release.
That's awesome. The perfect way to look about it for sure.
Yeah, I think Eternal Isolation, the writing process like fully started right after that tour we had with Fire and Extortionist that went through Canada.
Yep.
Yeah, right when we got home from that tour, we like were finalizing everything basically, and we took that time off until that little run with Shame Spiral and the Warped.
And the Warped Tour dates.
Yeah, and that's when like the timeline just came together. Like everything, like Chip said, like the puzzle were just falling together, which was nice because the writing process was very very strenuous on all of us. Just like it was the first time writing that much material, you know, and like having to make sure that everything is how we want it, and like pleasing everyone basically in the band, because we all like different things, you know. Right. And so it was definitely an experience that I feel like all bands, if they can, should get to experience. You know, like everyone thinks when they make their band, like how can we promote, what are these promos going to be like, yada yada yada, but like the length is like a milestone in like a band's history almost, you know. It's like a good accomplishment for a band to look back at, and like a lot of experience come with writing your first full length, and like Chip said, a lot of errors. So it's definitely sick knowing that, you know, LP2 is there, you know, we have a chance to like up it. And that's the sick thing about just continuing to write. It's always going to get better, and the creativity is going to continue to flow. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I never got to write a full length, surprisingly. Just kind of sucks in a way.
Really?
Yeah, only EPs.
Yeah.
And demos, I guess. I don't know. They're just shitty EPs.
Yeah, full lengths are definitely interesting.
I was writing one, but then Ghost Ship fell apart and it never came to fruition. I was in the middle of writing it, but shit happens. If it's not meant to happen, it's not meant to happen, you know?
Yeah. I think the coolest part about Eternal Isolation too was that like we had a whole vision for every single thing you could think of, you know, that goes into a full length, promoting it, all that stuff, and none of it included a label. So we were expecting, you know, to not get a label and to do this, you know, pretty much the hard way, you know, grind through it. So the fact that, you know, when Stasic came into the picture and we sent them the songs and they liked the vision we had, you know, we knew it was going to be a good fit because they trusted us on like what we thought we knew. They trust us because they know that we know like what people want from us, basically.
Yeah.
And it's been like that since we started working with them. They've always let us keep creative control. And I think that helps a lot with the creative process, knowing that we don't really have any boundaries.
For sure.
So yeah, I'm excited to just continue releasing music through them and showing them what we have. They've been nothing but helpful through every process since signing with them.
Yeah, you guys definitely have always had that image of, you know, what you wanted when either it comes to merch or promos or music videos or album artwork or whatever. You guys have always had that on a lock, which is sick to see because some bands have no idea, you know? So I think it's very important, and it's cool that you guys have kept it consistent through the whole thing, or more than consistent, you kept it and just kind of upped it to the next level, you know, as things go along.
You have to up it every time you release something new, you know, like in some form.
Yeah.
People want to hear something different.
Yeah. So I guess the new music will probably play on whenever that tour ends up happening, probably, right? Or if things last too long, you might just release it to kind of keep momentum going.
We're going into the studio in June.
Hell yeah.
We are releasing music. We're going to go to the studio in June. We're not going to be doing a full length just yet, just for the sake of not touring. You know, there's no need to put out a full length if we can't promote it correctly.
Right.
But we want to at least put out something. So there'll be more details as time goes on. But yeah, we are definitely going in the studio in June to start tracking.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to hear it, honestly. I'm very stoked.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised, honestly, we haven't sent you the demos. We can send you everything.
Yeah, wow. Bad band. So we've talked a lot about you guys' journey, you know, from local band to DIY band to starting to do legitimate festivals and tours. So do you have any advice for bands that are kind of trying to make that jump, or maybe even local bands that just want to play national shows or anything like that?
I would say I think that it's very important when you try to take your band from going for like local shows to touring, that you like really think to yourself about like how hard you're willing to work to get yourself to that next step. Because I feel like a lot of people have like the vision and like they really want to tour, and they'll get to that point and then they'll tour and then realize that that's not really what they thought it was, you know, and that might put a bad taste in their mouth and then they stop. So I feel like it's really important to like understand the steps and how it's going to go. You know, like every band makes it differently. So, you know, as you go on through your journey as a band, some bands will get some crazy offers or something, you know, that might get you down or something like that. But you just got to keep pushing. I feel like a lot of bands, if they come back from like their first DIY tour, you know, they get discouraged because, you know, it wasn't what they expected. But that's just another step in their process. And they have to, you know, acknowledge that if they want to continue, keep working and like going through it, because they're just going to continue hitting these humps, you know, that you got to get over as a band. And I think it's just like a learning experience, you know, like it's not like every band is ready to tour when they want to tour. Right. And like we realized that early, you know, we did the first couple tours and wasted a lot of money, not wasted, but, you know, it put touring in perspective for us of what it really is and what we need to do to accomplish it and be successful, you know, on a tour.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, just keeping your content up, you know, acknowledging how much hard work you really are going to have to put in to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve with your band. You know, and connections as well, just going out to a lot of local shows. That's where I started doing anything that I've done, you know, just going to shows and meeting the scene that's near me and, you know, finding out what's in, finding out what's not in, you know, going to venues that are known that a lot of packages go through, meeting the promoters there. You know, a lot of these times, like early bands, I feel like don't understand that these tours are put on by the same people that are booking them for their solo shows, you know?
Right.
And it's important to know like the community that you're going to get in with if you want to make the right connections and really take the right strides to you know, touring from just, you know, playing shows here and there.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's trial error, you know, like everyone has a different story. For us, I started doing it just because I really wanted to tour, you know, and I felt like we were ready. And the first two tours showed us that we weren't ready. But we kept grinding through it, you know, and making different connections. And then as we kind of touched on earlier, you know, I reached out to you and that the rest is history.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just really, it's acknowledging how hard you really want to work to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
That's going to help you. That's going to help you get to the next step.
I guess that goes with anything because people have asked me, not like I'm the, you know, a huge agent or anything, but, you know, I came from doing it for my own band to, you know, booking actual real bands on labels with real teams and everything. But that was what I did. I just worked my ass off, you know, and if you don't want it, and that comes to anything. It could be a job you're at. It could be whatever, you know, if you're not going to work at it, nothing's going to come, you know. Sometimes you get lucky, I guess, exactly. But everything you want comes with a bunch of hard work, you know. It's not just.
I would say that definitely like one silly thing to add to that too is like don't like definitely as a young band, like even any band at any like stature, honestly, can always just don't be afraid to take advice either. You know, like I personally, when I tour with people as a guitarist, like I like learning about different aspects to like a touring guitarist, you know, and I got Nico from Great American Ghost and Kyle from Body Snatch, like that tour being with those two the whole time, like I was like studying and asking questions like every day, like small stuff just to better myself as a guitarist and a musician. So as a band, if you're just coming up and you have a person that can definitely give you some insight on like what to do, you know, never be afraid to take advice from anybody as long as like they know what they're talking about. But you know, you're not going to go anywhere unless you like have that good head on your shoulders and listen to people.
Yeah, it's so important to learn. And that goes with anything as well, you know, but especially in touring, there's so many different tricks of the trade or, you know, little tips that'll make your life easier on the road, even if it's not playing music entirely, just, you know, how to make things cheaper or how to make things easier for you guys. It's always good to learn that kind of stuff. 100%. That's really good advice. Yeah,
because I mean, your tour rig is going to be different from your local show rig. You know, you're gonna need hard shell cases for your drums. You're gonna want to make sure that you have a bunch of you know, equipment that can be, you know, not you don't want to make a fool of yourself. I guess.
Right.
You know, you want to take pride in the band that you're in.
I want to know about newer metalcore bands you guys have been into. Actually, they don't even have to be metalcore bands. They just like any bands you've checked out that have really impressed you, or bands you've maybe seen on the road that really stuck out to you, or anything like that.
Honestly, I've been on that Polaris hook, man. We saw them in Canada, and I've already known about Polaris, but I would say them and like Dealer. Like I was based off the newer metalcore bands, and those have been the two that I've probably been listening to the most. Besides, like, you know, my usual spin.
I mean, honestly, I don't really listen to anything heavy. I mean, if any band I've been listening to like steadily, I mean, I listened to like that entire new Thousand Below album. I'm not even lying. Like, I don't care.
That band is sick.
Dude, I love that band, and that's a great album.
Yeah, that band is really sick.
I'm jealous that Bloodline got to tour with them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What about you,
That
Chip?
tour was crazy. That Omens tour?
Oh, yeah. It got cut short on a few dates, too, I think.
I think so. I mean, I think every tour that was going on then got cut short.
Yeah, but they only had a few dates left. Pretty much every other tour was like in the middle or just started. That Fit Chelsea tour did like 3 shows.
Yeah, then that We Came as Romans tour was like, what, halfway through?
Something like that. And Spite was almost done too. I think they might have had like a week left or something.
Mm-hmm. That tour was long as hell.
Yeah. What about you, Sax?
I've been on an Orthodox kick. That new record is sick. And I really been listening to Spite as well, just because after seeing them live, that band puts like a whole new perspective on themselves in your mind. Like, they just are an incredible live band. And after seeing them, like listening back to the music, it just hits way different. Right. So I've been just like listening over and over to them, just pretty much envisioning what I saw live. Just because their performance was so good. I'm trying to think, what else have I been listening to?
I love the new Gideon album. Yep.
Yeah,
that whole album. I love how different it is.
Yeah, it's weird. Nothing like it's this pandemic has been going on for a couple of months now, and it feels like so much longer, and it feels like nothing has come out. So it's just like hard to think of relevant or recent releases, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so I wrap up these podcast episodes with a little thing I call Metalcore Minute, and it's a minute, and I'll go through all 3 of you, so don't worry, you don't have to all squeeze it into one. And basically, you get a minute, and you go through anything you've been into. Obviously, you just went over bands, so exclude the bands, but whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, anything like that. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
So I've been into Animal Crossing on the Switch. Been playing that. For TV shows, I've been watching Ozark. I've been watching Stranger Things as well because I actually am late on that. I just never watched it, so I'm watching that. Fortnite. I've been really into like copping a lot of clothing lately. Okay. It's like upping my attire, I guess, a little bit. So I've been doing that. I'm still working though, so that's been good. I've been able to save money, so that's been like saving me from having to fill like a much bigger gap of just like stagnant time, you know? So yeah. I've been able to still work. I've been redoing my room. Just like stupid shit, man. Like I have so much more time on my hands now. I just got kick triggers. So I think with that as well, with the kit, and doing podcasts like this, you know, just trying to put out as much content as I can, personally. So, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all I've been doing, just watching Netflix, Animal Crossing.
Chip, are you ready?
Yeah.
I'll have you go next.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, go.
So I've been doing Animal Crossing as well, Civilization 6, a lot of music, but like I'm on the pin wave. I'm not listening to metal. So like I've been jamming a lot of Oliver Francis, Ian Dior, this guy named Bobby, but the B and Bobby is spelled with a 6. I've been rewatching Sons of Anarchy now, and that's because I've already rewatched The Office probably at the most amount of times you watch it. And then I watched Breaking Bad too many times. And then I've just been playing guitar, man. And then that's it. And handwriting lyrics. That's
Ooh, fancy. Do you have good
I can't
handwriting?
write. What? No, I
Do you
don't
have
have
good
good handwriting. I have very tiny handwriting.
Oh no.
Little tiny handwriting, man.
So have you watched Parks and Rec?
So I hate Parks and Rec. Shut up.
Okay. If you only watch the first season, then you're stupid. Go past the first season. The show is fucking hilarious. If you like The Office and don't like Parks and Rec, you're kind of stupid because it's the same person.
Okay, so it's the same thing. But like, I might as well, if I'm watching Parks and Rec, I might as well just watch the better version and watch The Office. It's like saying, like, would you rather watch the British Office or the US Office?
Okay, for one, the first season of The Office is literally a ripoff of the British Office, just done better. But the first season still kind of sucks for The Office. So the first season for Parks and Rec is also kind of, it's not bad, but it's whatever. But it's the same kind of format, but it's totally different. I'm telling you, because I didn't watch Parks and Rec. I only watched random episodes, but now Sam and I have been going through watching the whole series, and I think it might be more consistent. I have to wait till the end and see how the season finale is and everything, but we're almost near the end of season 5, and there's only 7 seasons, and it's been consistently better than The Office was, because there's some stuff in the middle and towards the end of The Office. Not the last season. The last season is pretty fucking perfect, but there's some stuff in the middle of The Office that it sucks. It's not good. Like the Will Ferrell stuff is terrible.
Yes.
You know,
so I just think it's funny because it's Will Ferrell.
I know,
but it's so random and so just out of place.
Yeah, it's not good. But I would give Parks and Rec a second chance because it's amazing. It's totally different. Because Leslie Knope and Michael Scott are not the same person at all.
No.
But I'm Michael Scott.
Leslie Knope is hilarious, though.
Leslie Knope is hilarious.
Dude, and then
I would say give it a shot. Give it another shot.
You have to watch.
And Sax got me on a Dave on Hulu.
I've heard that's really good.
It's actually really funny.
Have you watched Solar Opposites yet, Sean?
No, I just heard it's Diet Rick and Morty. So
it is, but
like
honestly, I think it's funny as hell. And then there's the little pupa thing that does stupid shit on the side.
I'll probably watch it, honestly. It looked fun. It looked pretty funny.
It's good. I mean, it's weird because the main character's voice is literally, I guess, the guy who does Rick's voice in Rick and Morty. So.
Oh yeah, the dude who does Rick's voice, I think, does a lot of the voices.
Yeah,
it's like one guy does. Yeah, one guy does a lot of them.
Like Seth MacFarlane does the same thing. Nick Kroll.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Pin, are you ready? You went through one thing, but are you ready for the ringer?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, go.
I mean, honestly, all I've been doing right now is just I work too much, so I don't really have any free time to do anything.
Damn,
but
really?
If I do, I'll wake up at like 5 a.m. every day, go to work at 6, work till like 2 or 3, go home, change, chill for a little bit, and then work like 4 to 10.
At Wawa?
Yeah, well, no, I do Wawa in the morning, and then I deliver pizzas.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so like I do that like at least 5 or 6 days a week most of the time. So like if I do get free time, I'm either most of the time just sleeping, catching up on sleep because I get like maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night.
Damn, that sucks.
But yeah, other than that, keeping me sane, I started watching actually Brooklyn Nine-Nine like a month and a half ago. And like honestly, I'm hooked on that show now because Andy Samberg's hilarious.
He is hilarious.
So like, and honestly, it's literally just think of like, I don't know, like The Office and Parks and Rec, but just as like a police department.
Yeah. That was kind of like Parks and Rec before until I started watching it. I've seen episodes, but I have not watched it like continuously.
It's good. It's literally, you can like tell the same things like between all the characters. Like you can tell each, like compare them to every show. They all have the same kind of like following.
Yeah. Oh, there's also, so they're supposedly, after this whole thing blows over, the creators of The Office and Parks and Rec and everything, they're going to do a work from home based show in the same style, which I'm pretty stoked about.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be pretty.
See, that would be sick.
Yeah. It should be really funny. Like, I can't wait to see if they have people like visiting each other and talking to each other like on their phones through doorways and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the way they're going to write that is going to be perfect.
Yeah. I'm very, very stoked on that.
Do that. That's, yeah, I just work. Totally do.
Damn.
And that minute or whatever, how long that was.
It's fine. I talked through part of it too. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Awesome, guys. Thank you guys for doing this.
Of course, thank you.
Of course. I'm sorry about the connection.
Yeah, we suck.
It's
Sorry.
okay. I'll
I feel like
fix.
half the time I lost my train of thought, so I'm just mumble jumbling. So definitely make us not sound stupid.
Yeah, please.
Don't worry. I'll fix it in post.
Throw some auto tune on it.
Auto tune.
I'm not gonna do that.
You know, put your edits in there. Ghost write a little bit.
Ghost right? Yeah, I'll just mimic your voice and plug it in.
Literally.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you, bro.
Love you.
Peace, man.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it for this one. Thank you for checking this one out. As always, if you want to support the podcast, you can follow us on social media at Metalcore Nerds. Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube. And if you want to support monetarily, you can go to redcircle.com/metalcore-nerds/donations. Until next time, this is Metalcore Nerds.